What's up, everyone? This is Strange Skull back with another review of the movie that came out last week called Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan in dual roles. He plays twins. Smoke and Stacks are their names, um, and also starring Haley Steinfeld. I wasn't sure I was really going to do a review of this movie. I just saw it today. Best I could say this movie, it's like a cross between like Oh Brother Where Art Thou and From Dusk Till Dawn. And maybe throw in like a little gangster film. And that's what you get with this. But again, I'll just say this out front. I was not the target audience for this, because this film is really pulling from African culture and Southern African American culture. You know, the movie takes place in Mississippi, and I think it's 1931. This movie takes place, so it's still Jim Crow. Prohibition's still going on, and the Ku Klux Klan has firm control over the South, with members everywhere and them lynching and just harassing black people. But this movie, I didn't get a lot of like soapbox moments where they're trying to make a political statement, which again I appreciate, because I just want to be entertained. I don't go to movies to get preached at or get told, oh, you need to feel bad about yourself for something someone you may or might have been related to hundreds of years ago made a fucking decision and now you got to pay for it. I don't fucking like that. This movie, the one thing though I will say though with this movie, it's the first movie in a while tackling like morality in a way that I've seen in a long time that doesn't try and make you feel sympathy for the bad for the bad guys in the movies. Like, again, I'll get into spoilers just in case you guys want to go see it. I'll just give my recommendation here and then I'll signal the spoiler, because I don't like spoiling things for people if they want to go see something. Again, I'll just say this. I'm not the biggest Michael B. Jordan fan. You know, I never saw the Creed movies. It's like, I hated his character in the Black Panther. I thought it was another example of, oh, we have to make the bad guy sympathetic. You know, the bad guy just can't be the damn bad guy. But he did very good in this movie playing the brothers, Smoke and Stack. You know, they're twins. They had different personalities. I mean, as much as you could be, it's the same actor, but he played the characters enough where you could tell them apart. And Haley Steinfeld, I mean, I've only seen her, you know, I first saw her in the remake of, oh, sorry, just my mind blanked. True Grit. The Coen Brothers remake of the True Grit, and she was awesome in that movie, and she really kills it in this movie, and particularly the one scene her and Michael B. Jordan have is the reason I wanted to go see this movie. I mean, I thought she captured the accent really well and just the mannerisms really well of the time period and such. But if I had to give this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this an 8. And that, because again, I never felt like I was, why give it such a higher score for 8? I never was bored once in this movie. I was never like, okay, can we fucking move on? You know, oh God, we're beating this dead horse. They give you enough information on these characters without them sitting there reading you a fucking phone book of something. It's like, there's none of like the typical dumb tropes in some movies where something supernatural happens and we're not going to have a debate about it. People just kind of like, oh shit, I just saw this happen. It must be this. And we move on from this. So, again, that's my recommendation. We're going to get into spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Now we're in the spoiler section. Why I say this is From Dusk Till Dawn is because the main threat in this movie are vampires. Particularly one vampire who is, he's Irish. He pretty much... the thing is, in this movie, man, the vampires are not sympathetic. They are called what they are. They're evil. And that, I kind of appreciate that. And it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. Since, like, last year's Nosferatu, we're finally getting back to... Vampires are not good. You know, they're not the good guy. I mean, yeah, we've had Angel and Buffy in the Buffyverse and Spike. We've had the Twilight vampires, and we've had True Blood. This movie, it is pretty much like how the vampires are treated From Dusk Till Dawn. They're not nice. They suck you in, you know, they sucker you in with being all kindly and, oh, I need your help, and then bam, they fucking bite you, and now you are this soulless creature that just wants to feed. And they do a good job with the vampires in this. Again, they don't go into full explanation, they don't give you the history of fucking vampirism or anything, they just... One character who is like... She practices... I'm going to say she... I don't want to say she's a voodoo, but she practices the... I forget what religion is. Again, I'm not well versed on African culture, and that's why... The main focus of this movie is Stax and Smokes... Michael B. Jordan's character, his cousin. They call him Preacher Boy. He's the son of a preacher, but... he can play the blues really good. And of course, much religious, we're all playing music like that. You're selling your soul to the devil. And that's one thing I do appreciate in this movie is they don't demonize the Christian side. It's not like, oh, you backwards thinking old man. It's a bit of a morality where, because there is a talk in the movie where Preacher Boy, or we'll just call him, I think his name's Samuel in the movie. Yeah, little Sammy. His dad wants him to preach with him. You know, pretty much probably take over after his dad gets too old. Well, of course, he don't want to do that. You know, I'm not a preacher. I'm here, you know, he wants to play music, and I just appreciate, because they don't make the dad the bad guy, because his dad's not trying to be a bad guy. He's just trying to look out for his son and doesn't want him to fall, you know, stray down the dark path, because he's not stupid. Because Smoke and Stack are his nephews. They're his brother's kids, and his brother, we find out later, is dead. Stax killed him because he was beating Smoke near to death, just being an evil man. And their dad was not a good guy, apparently. And again, it's just like, I like it where it's just this morality. And it's not, you know, hard-handing. It's like you're seeing things happen. Like, the movie is aptly named Sinners because we have two female characters in this movie. Haley Steinfeld's character, and then there's this other black actress. I can't remember her character's name. she and Preacher Boy kind of get a little smitten because she hears him play his guitar. Now, both her and Haley Steinfeld's characters are married women, but they're chasing other men. They're adulterers. And I gotta appreciate, too, there is sex scenes in this movie. Now, they don't go full, like, softcore porn on it, but it almost gives you an 80s slasher feel, because every character in this movie who is like an adulterer, they pay the price. Haley Steinfeld, she's lusting after Smoke, and she gets turned into a vampire, and then she kills Smoke. She turns him into a vampire. Preacher Boy and this other lady, they have sex in the back room, and then she gets killed later in the movie. And that's where I view this as a good morality tale, because all these characters in this movie are they're sinners. They're giving in to greed, lust, and because like they're Smoking Stacks, they buy this sawmill from this typical Southern, at the time period, this big fat dude. They buy this sawmill and the land around it. And they're going to turn it into like they call it a juke joint. It's like a speakeasy almost, but it's just a place where black people can come, congregate, and dance and not have to worry about getting hassled. Well, pretty much like I said, they're gambling, they're dancing provocatively, and they're listening to the evil blues music. And again, they're drinking. They're getting drunk and stuff, so everyone in this place is a sinner. And the thing is, Preacher Boy, they explain this in the movie, in the very beginning of the movie. It starts, Preacher Boy is someone it's both in African culture, Irish culture, and even Choctaw Indian culture, where through music, they can access their ancestors, the memories of their ancestors. And that's what Preacher Boy is. And when he plays this song, it is a pretty interesting scene. I like the song he starts playing. He's playing it when they're in their club there. And he starts channeling ancient African stuff. And of course, this is part that it kind of loses me, where and it can see into the future, and you literally start seeing like 80s guitar guys, and then you see someone who looks like LL Cool J, and they bring in the hip-hop stuff. In my opinion, it kind of screws up the flow of the movie, where it's like, you had me there, but it's a little weird. But then as he's playing, it's like it's crossing worlds. Like, all of a sudden, like the camera goes up to the ceiling of the barn, and it burns away, and like the whole building is burned down. And then you see the vampires are outside, the Irish vampire, and he's looking in. Because they say in the beginning of the movie, with what Preacher Boy is, not only does it attract the good spirits of like your ancestors, but it calls evil as well, because it attracts evil. And it attracts the vampire, and particularly the Irish vampire. He wants Preacher Boy because he wants his power. He wants to turn him, because how they have their vampires in this movie is when he turns people, he gets their memories. So he knows everything you know. He wants to take Preacher Boy, he wants to access that power so he can access his ancestors and remember. Because it's like, they never say how old this vampire is, but it's presumed he's very old. Because the part when he's confronting Preacher Boy at the end, he's almost like giving him a mock baptism. This preacher boy thinks he's about to die, so he starts saying, he starts praying, and and the Irish vampire starts giving it back to him, like, yeah, I've heard, I was told this before when the men came to take my father's land. And again, it's like kind of hinting at maybe he was old enough to when like the English first came to Ireland and started taking over. But again, that's kind of like the cool parts of this movie where they're blending it. And the other thing too, I just like that the characters aren't stupid. Like, it's not like typical dumb movie logic where, oh, yeah, but like because like again, these vampires, they follow the old school rules of vampires cannot cross the threshold without being invited in. And you have characters that get turned and they try and come back in and they're like, oh, come on, let's, invite me in. And they're like, wait a minute. Why do you need invited in? You've been in and out of this building all day. Why all of a sudden do you need me to, like, let you in? It's pretty good. And again, too, it's not like, oh, they're fully defeated, because then the vampire starts screwing with other characters, because again, this Irish vampire, man, he knows all their secrets, because he's turned their loved ones and stuff, and he starts fucking with everybody. And again, too, the other thing I appreciate is this dude is not treated sympathetically. He's not treated like, oh, we feel bad for him because he just wants to remember. No, he is like evil. Like, he doesn't care that he's turning all these people because he just wants to do it. He wants to just do evil things. I think that's about all. Like I said, it's a good movie. Like I said, if you like From Dusk Till Dawn, you'll like this movie. The effects in it were pretty good. I mean, there might have been some stuff where I'm like, I don't know if this was actually time period accurate. Like, the end scene where, of course, since they keep mentioning the Ku Klux Klan here, the guy they bought the sawmill from, well, he's going to show up the next day and kill Smoking Stacks anyway, because here, he's the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. And so at the end, Michael B. Jordan kills all these guys, and he's using weapons where I'm like, okay, they have the Thompson, which, yeah, okay, they were, because both Smoking Stacks are World War I veterans, so yeah, they would have got trained on the Thompson, but then the first gun he uses is a BAR, the Browning Automatic Rifle. I don't know if those guys who were going to the trenches in World War I would have been trained on the BAR, because even though it was supposed to go to the front, by the time it went into production, World War I ended, and all the production rifles were put in National Guard armories, because the BAR was really made famous, and what really kept it in military service was because Clyde Barrow of Bonnie and Clyde fame stole several from I think it was the Texas National Guard. He stole several of them and modified a couple to use them to rob banks, and also just outgun the police. As again, back then, cops really didn't have an arsenal. They mostly had 6-shot revolvers and maybe 12-gauge shotguns. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It was a good scene. It was a scene you should have known was going to happen, because they kept mentioning the Klan, so they had to take the Klan out. Again, like I said, 8 out of 10. It's a fun movie. I dare say I will put it in the category of, I put movies like Smokey and the Bandit, where it's a movie that when you watch it, you come out of it and you're kind of like, I want to go watch another movie. That's what I put Sinners in. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I know I haven't posted in a while. I apologize for that to my subscribers. I know there's not that many of you, but for the ones there, I do apologize. I haven't posted regularly. It's just been the past year was rough. I lost my grandmother, and that took a while to get. I'm still grieving with that, and then last month, what was that? In March of this year, I lost my aunt. I lost my grandmother at the end of March last year. So let's just say the skull here has taken a lot of hard hits. And I'm just still trying to make it through it, guys. Just trying to get back to normal. But I'm just going to end it here, because if I keep talking, I'm going to start fucking crying. So, take care, guys, and hold your loved ones dear. Take care.